Hey, welcome to the governor's residence. Come on in, guys.
Governor Shapiro, hi.
What's up?
Thank you so much for fitting in a 48-question interview into your busy schedule.
48? Oh my gosh.
All
right.
Let's do this.
Come on.
So what's keeping you busy these days?
Everything. I mean, we're trying to get our budget passed, trying to protect people's freedoms, deal with the craziness in Washington. It's a lot, but I love what I do and grateful for the chance to do it.
What is the most exciting thing in your life?
I mean, it's always my family, right? I mean, Laura and I are blessed with 4 kids. They're doing amazing stuff every day. But I guess professionally, it's getting the chance to get out on the road, see people where they are, see the difference they're making in their communities. I love that.
And what inspires you to keep going?
The people I meet along the way, the people who have like serious challenges every day that need our help. And when we can deliver for them, man, there's nothing better than that.
So what keeps you up at night?
You ever been here before?
No, never.
Feel really blessed to be here. What keeps me up at night?
Yeah.
The people, I know I sound like a broken record, but the people I meet along the way who have serious challenges, serious needs, who are either getting hurt in Washington or hurt by something in their community, and I just want to do right by them.
So flipping the topic, what is the best gift you've ever been given?
The 4 children that my wife and I are blessed to have.
Oh, that was a nice answer. Cool piano. Do you play any instruments?
I do not.
No, not your
I mean, I could like play the drums, not well. Actually, fun fact, I played the harmonica when I was a kid. I could do a mean piano, man.
So, Gov, if everything you propose in your budget got passed, how much would be left in the bank?
$6.4 billion, give or take.
Why are you calling to legalize marijuana?
Because look, I think it's an issue of freedom and liberty. I mean, if folks want to smoke, they should be able to do so in a safe and legal way. We should shut down the black market. And by the way, every state around us is doing it, and Pennsylvanians are driving to those other states, paying taxes in those other states. It's time to get some of that revenue here.
Did you always think that?
No, honestly, I didn't. I mean, this is an issue I struggled with as a dad, as former prosecutor, former attorney general of Pennsylvania. But I've come to learn about it. I've come to listen to people about it. And it's something that, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I changed my perspective.
Do you think Pennsylvania needs to raise the minimum wage?
I do, and I've thought this for a long time. I think the $7.25 an hour wage that we have right now, it's unlivable. I think it should be $15 an hour.
And how do you work with a divided legislature on this?
Well, what you got to do is you got to find ways to bring people together, to listen to their ideas and try and incorporate it and meet in the middle. So that's what we need to. Dude, how many times do I have to throw you out of my office? Now I got to throw you out of my house?
We won the championship.
What the hell are you doing here? It's like you're trying to rub it in that the Sixers are, having a down season.
I don't know about that. We won the championship. You gotta take the pride.
Don't spin me, Manuel. It's a bad look for you. And by the way, you know what else is a bad look for you? That jersey. Get out of my house. I don't know how many times I got to throw you out of here. Get out of here. Come on, get out of here.
Gov, why do you hate the Boston Celtics?
How does he keep getting in here, by the way?
I thought we were asking the questions.
Yeah. Listen, I grew up hating the Boston Celtics. My parents taught me to love thy neighbor, except Celtics fans and Cowboys fans.
And you're a Sixers fan?
Of course I am. I know they're having a down season. Don't give me a hard time about that, the way Manuel does.
What did starting on your high school basketball team teach you about being the governor?
Man, I love those days. That was so much fun. And, they actually called me the general back then, the floor general. I was the point guard, ran the offense. It taught me about the power of teamwork. Every single player doing their part. And when everybody does their part at a high level, you win. And by the way, my senior year, we ripped off over 20 straight wins. It was a great year.
Oh my gosh, it seems like a lot. All right, let's get back to budget stuff. So,
it is a lot.
Why are you calling for full practice authority for nurses?
Because in our rural communities, it's really hard for people to find access to primary caretakers. In fact, in urban Pennsylvania, there is one primary caregiver for every 222 people. But in our rural areas, it's one per 522. We've got to expand the scope of practice for nurse practitioners to provide access to health care for folks in our rural communities. It's common sense. We got to get it done.
That makes sense to me. And how much would your tax plan cut taxes for Pennsylvania businesses over your first 6 years?
$10.5 billion. That's with a B, billion dollars. And by the way, that's on top of cutting taxes for families to help them afford childcare, cutting taxes for our seniors to help them be able to stay in their homes. People talked about it for 20 years. We got it done. We've been cutting taxes and putting money back in people's pockets.
Awesome. And back to basketball, who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Oh my God, come on. I mean, I fight with my kids about this all the time. I'm right, they're wrong. It's MJ, Michael Jordan, the GOAT.
Gov, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Have a cup of coffee and then exercise.
What is the last thing you do before you fall asleep at night?
I try to, if I'm with my kids at night, I try and say goodnight to my kids, bless my kids, and then spend a little time with Lori and try and decompress a little bit, not think about politics.
Nice. So to say about politics, why are you calling on the legislature to automatically expunge eviction records if the case was dismissed or the judge ruled in favor?
I'm focused on common sense stuff, and this is completely bonkers. What's the opposite of common sense? I guess bonkers, right?
Yep.
Someone can suggest that you did something wrong and need to be evicted from your home or your apartment or whatever, even if it turns out not to be true, it's a permanent stain on your record. And it makes it really hard to be able to go get a house, sometimes get a job or what have you. And I gotta tell you, it is something that is ridiculous, it's outdated, and we gotta fix it.
Makes sense. How much are you proposing to help first-time home buyers with closing costs?
$10 million. We want to by the way, you want a drink of water?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. $10 million fund that's going to help first-time home buyers be able to cover their closing costs. They can put more money into their homes or into other things that are important to them.
Who was your favorite teacher in school?
Probably Dr. Wiedner.
Yeah.
She taught me English.
Nice.
Still not very good at it.
How are you working to help student teachers and get more in the classroom?
So we found that we have a shortage of teachers, but a solution to put more teachers in the classroom. And that is when they're going through their student teaching moments, not having to do that without making money. You see, in the past, they literally had to student teach, take out loans, take out money from their savings account. Now we give them up to a $10,000 stipend to help them learn in the classroom and then get into the classroom and be teachers.
And then speaking of student mental health, why do you want to invest in our 988 suicide prevention line, walk-in centers, mental health services generally?
Because I've listened to Pennsylvanians, and they're crying out for more services for mental health. Kids in our classrooms, adults in their communities, we got to do better. Mental health is a serious issue. Let's eliminate the stigma. I'm proud of the fact that we've got, I think, the strongest mental health parity laws in the entire country, and we're enforcing them. And we've invested $200 million for kids to be able to have mental health professionals in their schools now. It's working. We've got to continue to provide mental health supports.
Awesome. Gov, how many students now receive universal free breakfast in Pennsylvania because of your first budget?
1.7 million students. I'm like really proud of them. By the way, we've served 92 million meals to these students. It's unbelievable. I'm so proud of that.
That's amazing. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I mean, would I have to be like super healthy or just
whatever you want?
Get me through the day?
Yeah.
Uncrustables.
Good answer.
Yeah.
What is in there?
Oh, this is really neat. When governors leave their time of service in the Commonwealth, they each leave behind a different trinket, just symbolizing their service or something that they cared about. Folks started asking me, well, what are you going to leave? I'm like, I'm only 2 years into this. I plan to be around for a while, so I haven't thought about it yet.
That was my next question, so I'll skip that. Your budget proposes an additional $6 million for adult and family literacy programs. Why are they important?
You know, there are about 600,000 Pennsylvanians who don't have a high school degree, who never really learned how to read. We've got to make sure they get the skills they need to get that GED so they can get out in the workforce and they can strengthen themselves, provide for their families, and realize their dreams. See, I'm a big believer that everybody should have the freedom to chart their own course, the opportunity to succeed in Pennsylvania. And the reality is, if you can't read, if you don't have even a high school degree, it's so much harder. I want to invest in those folks. It's the right thing to do.
That's awesome. How much did you increase the child care tax credit by?
We tripled it, literally. So families now get 3 times the amount of a child care tax credit. And in addition to that, we actually give businesses the opportunity to write off investments they make in their employees' child care.
And Gov, what room is this?
This is the First Lady's office. So it's kind of cool. That's First Lady's office. That's my office. So when we want to communicate, we just bang on the wall to each other.
And what did she care most about in your last budget?
In our last budget, it probably was making sure that there were free period products available in our schools, in our state parks, in our state colleges and universities. I'm really proud of her. She listened to young women and girls across Pennsylvania and told them stories about how they had to miss school when they got their periods and they didn't have the money to be able to buy their period products. Lori made sure we changed that, got a line item in our budget, and now we have, girls and young women coming over to her, coming over to me, telling them what a relief it is to know those products are available to them.
That's awesome. And what does she care about most this year?
Probably the fight to make sure those with intellectual and physical disabilities get into the workforce. We've got this office called OVR. I won't bore you with all the bureaucracy. They basically place these wonderful people in jobs where they can make a difference in our communities. And let me be really clear about something. This isn't an act of charity. These people do wonderful work in our communities, and they're making a huge difference in these businesses. I've seen it with my own eyes. So Lori's now literally going around to big businesses all across Pennsylvania and getting them to commit to hiring people with physical and intellectual disabilities. It's awesome. By the way, Lori may be the only person who brought Sheetz and Wawa together. Both of them agreed to do this, and I couldn't be more grateful to them and so many other businesses that are doing this work.
That is pretty impressive. So where are we now?
This is my office. I love working in here. It's usually quiet. I can think, I can read, sometimes light a fire when it's chilly out, and I just feel honored and blessed to be here. Honored and blessed that people of Pennsylvania gave me this opportunity to serve them.
And what's your favorite thing on your shelves?
Oh man, probably anything having to do with family. I try and have pictures of family, pictures of different moments in my life here, and things that remind me of how hard I had to work to get here, how much sacrifices my family needed to make for me to get here and have the opportunity to serve.
And last question from us, what would you like to say to the people of Pennsylvania?
Man, I just want them to know this is the highest honor of my life, serving them as their 48th governor. I am working my butt off for you, and I'm focused every day on getting shit done for you.
Well, thanks for answering our questions.
Thanks. That was fun.
Good. Okay, we're done.